I'm Dr. Manjubala Yadav, Associate Professor in Chemistry, Government College, Kota. Today we will study about the concept of global warming. In the last chapter, we studied about the clock cycle, in which we studied how the CFCs, they are depleting the ozone layer. Now, we will study about the various factors which are causing the global warming. First of all, we should know what is global warming. It is the increase of average world temperatures as a result of what is known as the greenhouse effect. As the greenhouse gases build up in the atmosphere, the earths get hotter. And this process is leading to a rapid change in climate, also known as the climate change. We find the climate is changing very fast. Heat is generated more as compared to the earlier time. So, what are the various causes for it and what are the remedies we will study in this chapter? Since the Industrial Revolution, the global annual temperature has increased in total by a little more than 1 degree Celsius between 1880, the year that accurate record keeping began, and 1980. It rose on average by 0.07 degrees Celsius, that is 0.13 degree Fahrenheit, every 10 years. Since 1981, however, the rate of increase has more than doubled. For the last 40 years, we have seen the global annual temperature rise by 0.18 degrees Celsius. So we know that due to the Industrial Revolution, which is the main reason for the global warming, but with the rise in population and urbanization, the industries they were set and it caused a little increase in the temperature 1 degree Celsius between 1880 to 1980. If we see the record of the increase of the temperature, it was 1 degree in 100 years. Okay, but then it is increasing 0.07 degrees Celsius every 10 years. And after 1981, so initially it rose by 0.07 degrees Celsius every 10 years or 0.13 degree Fahrenheit every 10 years. But if we compare it with the after period of 1981, the rate of increase has more than doubled. And for the last 40 years, we have seen the global annual temperature rise by 0.18 degrees Celsius. Now, what are the causes? We see that the main pollutant is CO2 and other air pollutant, they collect in the atmosphere and they absorb the sunlight and solar radiation that have bounced off the Earth's surface. Normally, this radiation would escape into space, but these pollutants, which can last for years to centuries in the atmosphere, trap the heat and cause the planet to get hotter. So, we see that all these pollutants, whether it be CO2, whether it be carbon monoxide or ozone or the water vapor or the NOx and clogs, they all collect in the atmosphere and they have very long lasting effects. Means they are not temporary, means for they don't have a very short half life. They can remain in the atmosphere for longer periods and they absorb sunlight and solar radiation, and normally this would have escaped into space, but these pollutants, they trap the heat and cause the planet to get hotter. So what are these? These are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, water vapor, synthetic fluorinated gases. These all are combinedly called greenhouse gases and their impact is called the greenhouse effect. Now we take one by one. Carbon dioxide. What are the sources of carbon dioxide emissions? So they are the burning of the fossil fuels. We know lots of vehicles, lots of industries, lots of trains, they all are must now. And what they use oil, they use natural gas and coal, which are the fossil fuels. So, and due to the combustion burning of the fossil fuel, solid waste, and trees and wood products, carbon dioxide is released. Changes in land use also play a role. Deforestation and soil degradation add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, while forest regrowth takes it out of the atmosphere. We know that carbon dioxide, which is trapped by the plants, which are the basis of photosynthesis, the raw materials for photosynthesis. But due to urbanization is being done, is increasing day by day, so deforestation is must for that. And so CO2 it is not used up by the plants also as much it should have to. Now second is methane, emitted during the production and transport of oil and natural gas as well as coal. Methane emissions also result from livestock and agricultural practices and from the anaerobic decay of organic waste in municipal solid waste landfills. So it is being produced from the as a result of livestock and agricultural practices and from the anaerobic decay of organic waste. Nitrous oxide, we know it is emitted during agricultural and industrial activities as well as during the combustion of fossil fuels and solid waste. Fluorinated gases, a group of gases that contain fluorine including hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, and sulfur hexafluoride, among other chemicals. These gases are emitted from a variety of industrial processes and commercial and household uses and do not occur naturally. So all we see that the harmful gases which are being emitted, they are not produced by nature. They are produced by the human activity. So we will have to control them if we want to save our nature. Sometimes used as substitutes for ozone depleting substance such as chlorofluorocarbons. Water vapor. The most abundant greenhouse gas, but importantly it acts as a feedback to the climate. Water vapor increases as the Earth's atmosphere warms, but so does the possibility of clouds and precipitation, making these some of the most important feedback mechanisms to the greenhouse effect. As the Earth's atmosphere is becoming warmer, water vapor is increasing day by day. How is global warming linked to extreme weather? Scientists agree that the Earth's rising temperature are fueling longer and hotter heat waves, more frequent droughts, heavier rainfall, and more powerful hurricanes. So we find that these are the effects we are observing now due to the Earth's rising temperature. Longer and hotter heat waves, more frequent droughts, heavier rainfall, and more powerful hurricanes. The Earth's ocean temperature getting warmer too, which means that tropical storms can pick up more energy. The impacts of global warming are being felt everywhere. Antarctica has lost nearly 4 trillion metric tons of ice since the 1990s. The rate of loss could speed up if we keep burning fossil fuels at our current pace. So we find the effects everywhere. Even in Antarctica, it has lost 4 trillion metric tons of ice. And if we do not control our activities, if we don't control the burning of fossil fuels, dangerous consequences will have to be met. Some experts say causing sea levels to rise several meters in the next 50 to 150 years and wreaking havoc on coastal communities worldwide. We know in many continents, in many countries, the people are living in the coastal areas. So if this happens, it will bring havoc for the human. Other effects of global warming. Disappearing glaciers, early snowmelt, and severe droughts will cause more dramatic water shortage and continue to increase the risk of wildfires in the American West. We are seeing these consequences. We have heard about the rising temperature in the US and Canada due to the risk of wildfires. There, the temperature is rising to 35 degrees, 40 degrees, which is very, very high as compared to earlier times. Rising sea levels will lead to even more coastal flooding on the eastern seaboard, especially in Florida and in other areas such as the Gulf of Mexico. Forests, farms, and cities will face troublesome new pests, heat waves, heavy downpours, and increased flooding. All of these can damage or destroy the agriculture and fisheries. We saw this time 10-15 days continuous rains in our city also. All the agriculture, it affected the agriculture the most. All the crops were destroyed by heavy rains. Disruption of habitats such as coral reefs and alpine meadows could drive many plant and animal species to extinction. Due to the cleaning of forest, we have seen many species which is leading to extinction. Allergies, asthma, and infectious disease outbreaks will become more common due to increased growth of pollen-producing ragweed, higher levels of air pollution, and the spread of conditions favorable to pathogens and mosquitoes. Science has developed a lot, but pathogens and mosquitoes, they have not left us. We have no solutions till now, and we are working for it, how to prevent ourselves from these pathogens. Curbing dangerous climate change requires very deep cuts in emissions, as well as the use of alternatives to fossil fuel worldwide. The good news is that countries around the globe have formally committed, as part of the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, to lower their emissions by setting new standards and crafting new policies to meet or even exceed those standards. We are becoming aware of the crucial effects of the greenhouse, and as part of it, 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, it tells us to lower the emissions, and we have to find alternatives to the fossil fuels because they will end one day. The way we are exploiting our nature, we are using coal, we are using diesel, we are using petrol. We will have to find alternative for wind energy, solar energy, hydrogen fuel, so that we can save these fuels, and we can also generate greener ways. To avoid the worst impacts of climate change, scientists tell us what we need to reduce global carbon emission by as much as 40% by 2030. And if we want to reduce the carbon emission to such a level, the global community must take immediate concrete steps to decarbonize electricity generation by equitably transitioning from fossil fuel based production to renewable energy sources like wind and solar, to electrify our cars and trucks, and to maximize the energy efficiency in our buildings, appliances, and industries. We are working for it. First, we used to use bulbs of 60 watt, 100 watt. Now we are using LEDs, which are taking very less energy, using very less energy. Electric cars, they are also started. They have started. Thank you. So this is how we studied the dangerous climatic effects of the greenhouse and how we can save ourselves, how we can reduce the fossil fuels by consciousness, by awareness that we have to plant more and more trees, and we have to reduce our energy demands also. If in our house only, if we start from our house only, we if we are consuming 300 or 350 or 400 units of electricity, we have to reduce it to 200, 250. And we can just do it by taking small efforts. But we will do a great help for the nature. So, thank you.